So when people send flowers to other people, did you ever get weird like notes to put on them? Or
oh, I loved writing those notes. Valentine's Day, you're the only one that goes to Vashon Island. You're the only one that went to Mercer Island. You are the best in the world, went to Federal Way. All from the same guy. I love that one.
So that, everybody, is a clip from 80 for 80, which is going to be starting to stream on Amazon coming up this Friday.
It's a miniseries that documents the lives and contributions of some of King County's oldest residents. The title is a play on words from ESPN's 30 for 30 films, and the filmmaker, the local comedian Monica Nevi, joining us live in studio to kind of explain how this idea came about.
Thanks for being here, Monica.
Where did this all start from?
Me. Well, I'll be honest, my grandpa passed a couple years ago, and I just had so many questions for him. I want to know how he felt about his life and kind of what I could learn from him. And he was so honest and candid, like they'll tell you whatever you want to know unfiltered. So I thought, hey, this is a perfect thing. The people who we filmed, their families have something to keep, you know, that kind of thing. And they're kind of like, it's kind of like the guy who already put in his 2 weeks notice, you know, like he's going to tell you all the secrets. He's going to tell you where the good snacks are and stuff. Because the middle age, they're like still sugarcoating it for us. You know, they're like, oh, it'll be great. But they're like, oh, nope, this is how it really is. You know, so we had fun, and then we wanted to do it kind of in the theme of a sports documentary. So it's kind of intense. Instead of talking about the Sonics, it's Edith. You know, like it's a whole. It's fun. It was really fun.
What most surprised you talking to people in their 80s? What did you learn that surprised you that you didn't know before?
I will say the resounding theme through everyone's episodes is relationships. They really talked about the people who were there and not necessarily what they were doing, you know, and that was through every different story. You know, we had people who were married 3 times, and then there's a couple who was married to each other for 60 years. There was a woman, you know, she's 92 in her wheelchair, and she had 12 kids, you know, which I'm assuming is why she's in the wheelchair. But, you know, so they all had different stories, but relationships by far, their families were the biggest theme through all of the episodes.
And how important they were to them.
What was the biggest challenge for you as a filmmaker?
You know, well, I really narrowed my my casting pool, so that was probably the hardest part, was finding people who were ready, willing to do it, and then also had these interesting stories. And their part of King County was really important to me. For Culture gave us a grant to make it, so it was important that they were from King County and really had a good story about that. So the casting was definitely the most difficult part, but I think we did a good job. You
know, it's not every day a young person comes up to somebody who's in their 80s and says, hey, tell me your story. Did you find that they were really open and very willing, even excited to talk to you about their lives? Yeah,
absolutely. I think, you know, their day is definitely different than ours, you know, and so I think they're excited to do something different in general, but also they really wanted to tell the story, and they kind of maybe told stuff that they wouldn't.
Like what?
Yeah, in the past, you know, like there was a lot of, I don't know, you guys will have to watch it, but there's a lot of, you're like, Johnny Cash, that was the story, you and Johnny Cash? And she's like, oh yeah. And like there's a whole,
really?
They're ready to talk about all their boyfriends and their past relationships and all their parties. And it's
maybe
pretty,
things they hadn't shared before.
Yeah, their family's there and they're like, oh, we hadn't heard that story. You know?
So available Amazon Prime, is that right?
Starts this Friday, right?
Starting this Friday, August 3rd.
Monica, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on the film, and best of luck with it.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.